Hello, is there anybody there? Oh, we've got Emily. Hi, Emily, and Linda. Mandy as well. Hi, everyone. So I'll just give it a couple more minutes. Hi, Rose. Good afternoon from Canada. Oh, my goodness. And we've got Lou and Serena. Thank you very much, Serena. We're nearly at the end now. We'll be finishing this today. Hi, Alfonso. Hi, Victoria. I hope everyone is well. I'm not feeling brilliant tonight, so I think probably we'll just finish off this page and discuss what we're going to do next. Oh, hi Becky, it's watching the new colour chart. Oh, fantastic. I hope you find it useful. Hello, Shannon from Kentucky. Oh my goodness. Hi, Claire. Okay, so we left it off last week with the little olives, the olives down here that we coloured. We just started making our way across the bottom of here. Oh, thank you, Lou. Hi, Sass. And hi, Blue, as well. So I think we will just carry on what we're doing and hopefully finish this tonight. I can't see why not. Anybody know what colour these olive leaves would be, or if they're even to do with the olives? I think they are. Yeah, because the olives are growing off of them. Any idea what colour leaves these would be? Let me zoom in a bit. There we go. Becky's pencils are happy. I hope you like the way that I ordered them. Lou's saying a grey-green. Grey-green. Let me get my colour chart book. Okay. Grey-green. So, what about pale sage sap green, Kelly green? Did we use those? No, we didn't. We used something different. Linda says hunter green. Mandy says light green. Emily says Prussian, or maybe a cooler green to complement the olives. Yeah, I think I agree there. So the olives do have the Prussian, and I think, was it lime peel that we used for that? I think it might have been. So I think if I go for these greyish greens, that might work. Oops. Just put my phone up so it doesn't keep falling down. And there we go. Yeah, pale sage. I think that's what I'll go for. So let me just see if I've got one here. There we go, pale sage and Kelly green. I can't see one here. I might have to get my big pencil case out. Yeah. Okay. So Kelly green. And you just give it a sharpen. Let's see how those two go. Oh, I need to sharpen this one as well. There we go. So how is everyone doing? Hi, Jenny. We did miss you last week. I'm glad that you're here tonight. I hope you had a good week. Anyone been doing anything fun or exciting? I always ask. So we're using Kelly green and pale sage for these little olive leaves. Hi, Eileen. So I'm just going to colour them really simply, actually, because there's not too much room to do anything too elaborate. And you see how the pale sage really dulls down the brightness of the Kelly green and makes it very soft, very subtle. Oh, thank you, Shannon. Got some nail love in the chat. By the way, I adore colour family charts. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you like them and you find them, you know, correct for whatever undertones you see in the colours. Hi, Laura. Shannon says, caught a crap load of fish yesterday and sunburn. Oh dear, I got really sunburnt. I think it was last weekend. Terrible. And I never put sun cream on I'm awful. But it's so amazing how fast you can burn though, isn't it? Like, you sat there for an hour maybe and you think, oh, I've not been out there this long. And then you come in and you're completely frazzled. Daughter had homework for end of year 7 assessments. Oh, brilliant. My eldest son has just finished his A-levels today. So he feels free now. So yeah, I'm not feeling great actually. It's since last night, yesterday evening, I started feeling a bit sickly. And I've just been sort of like that all day really. I'm just sick of having these like episodes of feeling ill, and it seems to be more frequent, but at least it's not as severe as it was before. I just don't know what's wrong with me. Rosie, 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 come here. Nothing there. There's nothing there, girl. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Had a garage sale over the weekend, made $70. That's really good. Getting rid of all the stuff you don't want. Making some spare cash. Why not? Thanks, Jenny. I hope so too. 6 hours in the sun, but you bought, what did you bring? A jacket. Oh, good. Yeah, I just had a dress on, and I even had like the sunburn on my neck. My necklace was obviously sat on my chest and it didn't burn under my necklace, so I had like a heart shape on my chest. Going through I don't think so, Shannon. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but I am only 36, and looking back at, you know, my mom and my grandma and stuff, they didn't have an early menopause, so I don't think so. But yeah, it's weird. Hi, Emma. You just get sick of feeling sick, you know, and you can't really do anything when you feel like that, because you just, all you can really focus on is how horrible it feels. And you try and sort of distract yourself, but when it's your whole like digestive system, it just, you feel completely off. So I don't know. Started at 35. Well, my nausea episodes, etc., all started the day after my 35th birthday, last year in Italy. You've probably seen the video where I describe everything that happened, but I don't know, it's weird. See, it was something that I did think about at the very beginning, you know, my age and everything, that it could be that, but I've looked up the sort of symptoms and the signs that you should look out for, and I don't really fit the profile. Yeah, thanks, Serena. I'm not poorly. I just, you know, when you just feel really your stomach's churning, and yeah. Anyway, let's not be maudlin. Oh, I've got some news about Rosie. So you might remember a few weeks ago, I was asking if anyone knew why she made all of the kind of weird noises and stuff. And we got her into the vets, and they seem to agree that she has the collapsed trachea, which we thought it might be with her being getting on in age. They haven't given her an x-ray or anything, but they're pretty certain, you know, from listening to how she makes the noises and stuff. And apparently she's got a bit of dementia as well. So they've given me a couple of different medications. They've given me a steroid, which I think is to help the throat, you know, any inflammation in the throat there. And also this other tablet that I can't pronounce, but it's something to do with improving brain function. And I think it's probably helping her, the dementia side of things, I suppose. And she has seemed a lot more settled, I must say, since she's been on the tablets. So, sort of late 30s, that's how it feels. Oh my goodness. Shannon, if you don't mind sharing, like what kind of symptoms did you get? Like, was it the obvious ones, or, and did they sort of come on a cycle, even though, you know, I've tried to track it with my own cycle and it never matches with anything. It's so random, these kind of fits and spurts of nausea and digestive discomfort. It's so random, it doesn't match with the cycle or anything like that. But it just keeps going away and then coming back. And it's only been a few weeks since I had it last time, so it's just a bit annoying. Do you have medical marijuana? No, we don't. Well, actually, I say we don't. I think you can get it if you have like really severe certain difficulties, certain medical symptoms. You probably can get it, but they definitely wouldn't give it to me. And it is illegal over here, so I have a liver problem. They found it, get very nauseated. Yeah, I know I have a fatty liver, slightly fatty liver, and I know I've got the polyps in the gallbladder, but apparently they shouldn't cause this, so who knows? I don't know. Hi, Kathleen. Oh, thanks, Becky. Okay, I'll hopefully see you next week. Hi, Barbara. How you doing? Hot sweat, shakiness, heart palps, nausea. I don't really get the hot sweats, the shakiness. No, I don't think so. It's just the nausea and, you know, the whole, your stomach is just off, and everything you eat, just, it makes you feel horrible. Yeah, it's not good. Oh, Mandy's 38, haven't hit it yet. Yeah, I know that people can get it early. I know that. Oh, that sounds awful, Shannon. I'm sorry. Yeah, that sounds horrendous. Oh, good, Barbara. Tell us about your weekend. What have you been up to? Oh, bless you, Lou. It is nice, I've got to say, to have a little community of people that you can talk to. And, you know me, I try and be upbeat, but sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can't, can you? It's just how you feel. But I'm sure everybody understands. We all get days like that, don't we? How did they determine dementia? So we were telling them that she's really unsettled, especially at night time. You know, she'll come and wake you up for no reason, and she'll literally pester you until you wake up. And there's no reason for that. She doesn't need to go out or anything. She also just stands sometimes and stares at the wall, and you just think, why is she doing that? You know, it's not normal behaviour, I suppose. And when we explained that to them, they were pretty sure that's what it is. Hi, Emma. Barbara has sung with a choir of 80 people and a band and a symphonic orchestra for 2,400 viewers. Oh my goodness, Barbara, that's amazing. The audience was jumping and dancing, even climbed on the scene. Oh my gosh, I bet that was so incredible an experience. Wow, you'll remember that forever. That's amazing. Well done. Never had a conversation on YouTube before. Oh, now you've got me being all depressed. You don't need that, Shannon. It's not like this every time, believe. Oh, thank you, Lou. So for the new joiners, we've just got Kelly Green and Pale Sage. Kelly Green and Pale Sage for these little olive leaf things. Have I missed anything there? I bet you will, Barbara. It sounds incredible. Our 20-year-old Dashon does the same, stare at the wall. Yeah, it's sad. You can get some medications that will improve, they improve brain function somehow. It's to do with blood flow to brain. I know you can get some off Amazon that were really, really well reviewed and popular, but they are very expensive. I can't remember the name of the one that the vet gave us for Rosie. But yeah, you can do things. But 20 years old for a dog is incredible. I don't know if Dachshunds seem to have a longer life than other dogs or what, but 20 years old is amazing. I've gone through that myself. Tingling arms, insomnia, aches and pains, nausea. Yeah, I suppose so. It's just, it's so weird, isn't it? It's so weird. Okay, I think I've done all those. Let's carry on with these then. Can you see them on screen? Yep. So yeah, I've just been doing a couple of bits and bobs last few days. As you know, I've done the Pablo chart for colour families. If you haven't seen it, everyone, I'm sure some of you have because I've just been talking to you about it. But if you haven't seen it, this is the chart that I've made for the Caran d'Ache Pablo pencils. It's the family chart. I've done a video about it if you want to know more. But if you have these pencils, this is a really neat way of organising them into sort of blend families. So you can just pick them really quick out of your pencil case and you know that they'll go perfectly next to each other. What else? I did the review just today of the new Colorist Special Effects book. It's amazing. You've got to get it. Honestly, these books are fabulous. Let me zoom you back in. Yeah, do ask about it, Sass, because, you know, they say it really, really helps. Ask your GP for a blood test to check your hormone levels. I paid for a blood test last year, and I think they did, is it called FSH levels? And they were okay. But then I've been told that that's just a snapshot of your hormones at that time of getting the blood drawn, and it can change. So I don't really know how they would know. But yeah, dog had to have an x-ray. They found it has an enlarged heart. 287. Oh my gosh, that's expensive. Our cat stares at the wall. Yeah, it's really sad. But there are things that can be done. Hello, Wilcox mama. How are you doing? Have you been checked for a parasite? Yeah, well, I've had like stool samples and things taken for whatever parasite it is that the NHS check, and that was all clear. But not anything sort of more in-depth than that. It's like I paid for my own MRI scan on my brain and my neck to rule out any kind of problems with the nerves or the bones in my neck or whatever, because usually just before I get these episodes, for a couple of days beforehand, I will get this horrible sort of like, I mean, it's not painful, but it's like a fizzing sensation on the back of my neck. It's a creepy crawly sort of sensation. I guess it's a nerve thing. And that is always like my predictor that I know I'm going to get a nausea episode soon. And it's not that long since I've had one. It's maybe 3 weeks and I'm already feeling it again. I think the amitriptyline that I'm on is stopping the worst of it. But unfortunately, I might need to increase my dosage of that because I started off in September at 10 milligrams and then I had no episodes of nausea until January. It was amazing. It was like a lifesaver, you know. And then it came back a bit in January and my doctor doubled the dose to 20 milligrams in February. And then I was fine. Oh, she's jumping around everywhere. I was fine for another 3 months and it came back. But, it's not as severe as it was, which is, a godsend really. But it's still like, ugh. So I don't know whether I need to up the amitriptyline. I don't want to do that though, because if I keep upping it and upping it and upping it, you've probably heard me say this before, eventually I'll get to a point where I can't increase it anymore. And then what will I do, But then other people who've been on it have said I might just need to find my sweet spot with it. That's like a therapeutic dose that will last and last and last, and I won't need to keep upping it. But it's the not knowing, you know what I mean? And like I said, I paid for my MRI, which was really expensive, and I can't really afford to do things like that, but you know, I had to check it, and that was all clear. But it's like knowing what to save up and try next, because the doctors won't help me. So I mean, I could go down the parasite route with maybe a naturopath, but is it that, or am I spending money again on something that it's not the right route? Do you know what I mean? Is it something else? It's just so frustrating, honestly. But yeah, like I said, I don't want to bring everybody down, so let me just catch up with the chat. Hi, Mandy. Yeah, so if you go onto the Ko-fi, if you go onto the video that I made about the chart, there'll be a link underneath for the Ko-fi. It says on it, when you click on it, there's like a box and it says 0. If you just, I think it's like a grayed out 0 because it's for whatever you want to put. If you type in that 0 and then go through checkout, it will be completely free and it will be like an instant download. Oh my goodness, Jeanette, I'm so sorry to hear that. I bet you've been through the absolute wars. I can't stand anything like that. I can handle anything, but no. Have you had vitamin D tested? I have. It wasn't below their threshold, so they didn't treat it. I don't know. I can't remember what my score was actually, but I have had it tested. I remember asking for it. Could it be a migraine without the head pain? Exactly, Lou. This is what I was thinking as well. It's because the doctor seems to think abdominal migraine. But usually with abdominal migraine, I've read that you get stomach ache and stomach pain, and I never get pain. It's just the nausea. It's just horrific. And then, you know, really bad stomach, and everything just seems to go horrible in my digestive system. Like from top to bottom, it feels just off. So yeah, it could be some sort of abdominal migraine, but why does it last so long, and why does it keep coming back every few weeks? You know, like when I get a normal migraine, because I do suffer from normal head migraines, it's, you know, a couple of days. I'll have the pain on the first day and then I'll treat it with the migraine tablets, and then the next day I'll feel a bit spaced out, but then that's it. Whereas this, it just seems to go on and on. Sounds like it may be related to the vagus nerve. Yeah, I've thought about that as well, but I don't really know if anything can be done. You know, it's with the neck thing, that makes me think it's neuropathic. You know, there's something nervy going on, because that always predicts the episodes. So there's something going on. I wish I knew. They've just put mine up to 30 milligram. It's helping. I was very against it. I know what you mean, Jeanette, because I've heard so many horror stories about amitriptyline, particularly coming off of it, which I hope I never have to do because it sounds awful. And I'm happy to be on it if the dose lasts me a long time. You know, every couple of months having to increase, soon I'm not going to have anywhere left to increase. And there's nothing else that the doctor gave me that helped in those like 4 months when it was really, really bad. So amitriptyline for me was like, I don't want to, you know, make it sound like I'm overhyping it, but I think it saved my life, because I was not well, you know, and it was really messing with my mental health. I didn't want to carry on like that, you know. So to have something that stopped the episodes completely was just life-saving and incredible. But now that it doesn't seem to be lasting very long, it's not great. Silent migraine. Yeah, I've heard that as well. It's weird, isn't it? It is like a stomach migraine, I suppose, but it lasts for ages. I'm like, why? And then it keeps coming back. Yeah, Lou, those 2 things that you've said there, that's it. That's what my symptoms are. Exactly. My mum did that and it was her gallbladder. Yeah, so I've got polyps in my gallbladder, but I spoke to the specialist and he doesn't seem to think that would cause nausea. And I'm really reluctant about getting my gallbladder out because I've heard an awful lot of bad stuff about people who've had it out and it's just they wish they'd never done it. So I'm really like in a rock and a hard place. But the doctors, Jeanette, they're not bothered. You know, I think once they figure out that you're not dying and that it's not something insidious like a cancer, they don't really care much about quality of life for the person. You know, as long as you're not dying, you got to just put up and shut up, really. That's the state of the country at the minute where medical things are concerned. Right, oh, I finished these leaves. Hi, Amy. Lauren, I'm using the Prismacolor pencils. So what is next? We've got some kind of bushes behind here. I think I'll use some deeper greens for that. Just put these away. So why don't we go for, I want something a little bit mossy, I think, a little bit sort of faded back. Let's go, let's go moss and marine, I think, for those. Get those symptoms by non-aura migraines too. Hormonal issues can cause, yeah. I just wish they would get to the bottom. I honestly, you know, if I went to see a doctor and she did a test or some kind of test and said, we found it, we found what's wrong with you, I know for a fact that I would just burst into tears and I probably wouldn't stop crying for the whole day, because I've just been so desperate to find out what it is that's going wrong with me, and every test and thing I've had has come back negative. And, you know, while that's great that I'm not really seriously ill, obviously I wouldn't wish that on myself, but I do wish that they would find it and that it would validate everything that I've been going through, you know, rather than me just looking like a hypochondriac. So let me just sharpen these. Do you like using, I love using the luminance, Lauren. I love those pencils. Dismiss me when not critical at A&E, but please keep pestering until they refer you. Yeah, they did that to me. I went to A&E and I think I sat there about 5 hours. I told them that a certain antiemetic hadn't worked for me, and the next minute that's what they're bringing out, and they gave it to me and it didn't work, and then that was that. So A&E's just, it's pointless. It's all pointless, really. Hi, Angela. Oh, Amy, I'm just feeling a bit rubbish again with my my nausea episodes. My whole digestive system feels like a washing machine, and I'm just sick of it. But that's just me being really morbid, and I don't want to be. I want to be happy. I don't want to sit here bringing everyone's mood down. But yeah, that's why I'm just a bit today. So I'm using this marine green just to put some shadows into this bush thing that's going on behind her. Trouble is we can't talk about food, can we? You know, Jeanette. Do you know, sometimes I'm definitely a Gemini, because sometimes I feel one way about things, sometimes I feel another. So, you know, when I get people say things like the comment that you're referring to, Jeanette, oftentimes it will really get to me and I'll feel like, oh my gosh, have I upset somebody? And then other times I'm like, do you know what? I just can't be, I don't have the mental capacity to just be thinking about everything that I'm saying all the time and sort of monitoring every word that comes out my mouth in case it offends. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. Almonds are not the same as double decker. Yeah. I've given up, Jenny. I've given up on losing weight, especially on these tablets, because they make you eat everything. And I've just decided that as much as I used to be really, really upset about my weight, I just don't want to feel how I feel when I'm really ill. And if that means that I'm going to be a bit overweight, but I feel okay, then that's fine by me. I would much rather be overweight and not feel like this. So I don't worry about it. Did the nausea come out of nowhere, or was it always there? It came out of the blue the day after my birthday last year when I was in Italy, and I actually ended up in hospital in Italy. They were trying to figure out what was wrong with me, but I had to leave to catch the plane. Otherwise, I would have been stuck in Italy. I wouldn't have been able to afford to get back. So I literally had to take myself off of the drip that I've been put on. Yeah, and it's been happening ever since. Yeah, Emily, that's what happened. Yeah, thank you, Shannon. Yeah, we do have to, because I mean, you know, there's a stereotype about women that we're always moaning, that we're always nagging and blah blah blah. And I try not to focus on anything negative. You know, I really try to, but sometimes you can't help it, can you? It's just how you feel, I suppose. But I don't want to like transfer anything onto anyone else, so I keep everything quiet. I keep everything bottled up, and it's not good, is it? Have you managed to watch any more This Is Us? Funny, Laura. That's all I've done is pretty much watch This Is Us. I've just got to, I think it's the 4th series. And am I using the wrong colour here? No, moss green. So I've just got to the 4th series. And all these new characters got brought in the first episode. And I was like, what? Who's all these people? But now I think I've pretty much figured it out. When you're colouring bushes and trees, do you colour ones that are further away darker or lighter than forefront? No, I just kind of do little bits of dark areas randomly, really. I do it randomly so that it looks bushy. I don't know how to describe it. You'll see it as I do it. And I need a lighter colour than this in order to finish off the highlights on this bush. I probably don't colour them as they should be coloured to look really realistic. But it's just what I've been comfortable with doing. Hi Mo, how you doing? Laura, like I said, I've just got on to season 4 of This Is Us, and maybe it's the sertraline, maybe it's the antidepressants, but I'm not really a crier, and nothing's really made me tear up so far. I did hear from people that This Is Us is really tear-jerking and emotional. I guess it's the medication. Yeah, exactly. It's always about trying to divert myself, divert my attention, divert my brain, distract myself, and sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Mandy's colouring in Beauty and the Beast wallpaper page. Oh, fantastic. What pencils or pens are you using for that, Mandy? I'm just going to grab quickly this Celadon green, and I'll try and see if that will work for our lighter colour here. Mind you, it's very, very close to the leaves of the olive. Let me just have another gander. Maybe I'll bring out the lime peel again. Yeah, that's Rosie. She still makes the noises. Is YouTube your job or your hobby during your free time? It is my hobby. I wish it was my job. That'd be great. We have a French version with French actors. Really? So is it the same story, Barbara, then? And just with French actors? Gel pens and Prismas Mandy's using. What a great combo. Tried to watch the English version. It's so much the same story that I didn't continue. Oh, right, really? That's so funny. You would have think that they would just dub it for, like, cost reasons or whatever. But to say that they've used new actors and stuff, that's really strange. What did the vet say? The vet said Rosie has probable collapsed trachea and dementia, some dementia, not full-on dementia, but... What about fibromyalgia? Have you looked up the symptoms for that? Yeah, fibromyalgia seems to have like so many symptoms, but the most common one that I've read about is widespread pain. So I don't think that would really apply to me. Like I said, I don't have any pain with it. And not to, you know, not to say anything bad against anyone that suffers with chronic pain, because I know from my husband that it is absolutely horrific to live like that. But sometimes I think when the nausea is really bad, I would rather have some kind of pain than that, you know. It's not great. Okay, so that's how I do the bush anyway. So I'll do just little bits here and there of dark areas. And it really is just very random. You know, I'm not, sometimes I'll put them kind of above lines. If the artist has left these lines in, I'll put them above or below the lines, the dark bits, and then kind of fill in as I go. But that's just how I do it. It's just for a different bit of texture. Now these have got little berries on them. And I'm not going to go mad thinking about what colour. So I think I'm just going to make them purple, because then it will tie in with the grapes on the other side. So let me see. Dark purple, black cherry. Where's the dahlia purple? Where's that gone? There we go, dahlia purple. Hi, Sue. Amy, I don't have gastroparesis. I had the camera down the throat into the stomach, and they said it's absolutely perfect and fine and there's nothing wrong, which, you know, was the worst thing they could have told me, because I was counting on them finding it and being able to treat it. That's been the main sort of thing of the last year. Can't believe it's been a year. Just wanting to know what it is, good or bad. You know, I don't wish myself bad, as I said earlier, but if I knew the cause and, you know, if they found out what it was, it would make me so happy just to know. Widespread pain is the top symptom, along with fatigue, brain fog. I do get fatigue and brain fog. Yeah, thanks, Emma. You kind of feel a bit cautious about saying things like that, because you don't want to demean anyone that has chronic pain, you know, because it must be horrific. I know it is. But with the nausea that I get, it's so extreme. I can't even begin to put it into words. You know, it's not just like, oh, I feel a bit sick, I feel a bit queasy. You know, it's not that. It's something so different. It's so extreme. It takes over your thinking and everything. You know, you just want to crawl out of your body. It's horrific. But anyway, I keep trying to get us onto like better topics, because yeah, I don't want this to be a downer. It's always easier to deal with a medical issue if it's identified. Exactly, Jeanette, you've got it in one. Do you have a favourite colouring book? I think my favourite colouring book has got to be the Sagor Oksagna by Emily Lydhall Oberg, which is coming out again this year, as we all know. Cannot wait. It won't be long now, guys. I haven't got my copy yet, but I'm hoping to get one as like a little pre-copy so that I can show everyone. And I'm so excited about that. So excited. Really sounds like you should get your gallbladder rechecked. Maybe a scope to check your stomach lining. Mum has 2 polyps on the stomach. Right. Yeah, Shannon. So it was last month, or April, I think April, that I went for a ultrasound. They ultrasounded my entire abdomen, so gallbladder, liver, like all the organs. And they did say that I do have a couple of small polyps on the gallbladder, but it was nothing to even bother about. And the guy that I spoke to was like, it's not going to cause you severe nausea. You'd get pain. If anything, you'd get pain in the gallbladder area. I don't know. All valid. By sharing our experience, we help others. Yeah, that's true. I know, Sass, I can't wait either. What about Crohn's? No, I've also had the camera in the other place. And I don't have Crohn's, I don't have ulcerative colitis, I don't have anything wrong with me. Knowing it's a real thing and putting a name to it is such a breakthrough. My daughter had horrific migraines, vomiting 4 or 5 times a week. A diabetic medicine. That's interesting. Did they figure out what it was? Because that to me sounds like juvenile abdominal migraines or even CVS, like chronic or cyclical vomiting syndrome. That's really quite common in kids. If I was being sick with my symptoms, I would definitely think I'd got the CVS, cyclic vomiting, because everything else is exactly the same. It comes on a cycle. I'm fine in between cycles. It keeps coming back, blah, 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 blah. But I just don't, I can't be sick. I can't, even though I try and make myself, I just can't. So I'm stuck in that. In fact, somebody, let me try and find it. Somebody described it so well, the feeling. Let me just see if I can find it. Because I'm crap at describing things. So let me just try and look this up, because it's really, really good description of how it feels. Here we go. So this is how somebody explained chronic nausea. I explain it like this. Imagine the moments right before you be sick, when your pulse is high, you're sweating, your mouth is filling with saliva, your lower stomach's turning, your throat's even turning. Imagine those moments right before you throw up. Now live there. That is chronic nausea. There's no relief from throwing up. You just have to live in those states before. And it is utterly debilitating. I cannot even describe better than that anyway. Oh, thank you, Barbara. See you later. You did fur on Universal Monsters. Is there a tutorial? I thought you were worried about fur. I was so pleased and shocked with how that came out, Jenny. Honestly, I wasn't expecting it to come out that well. Now I've got to try and think of what I did. I know I used the Derwent Chroma Flow because they were a slightly hard lead, so they'd keep a point for longer. I think I remember the 3 colours that I used. I'm going to have to do a tutorial for it because I was honestly shocked and surprised at how well it came out. So yeah, I will be doing one. Migraines, had a head scan, just migraine. Yeah, just migraines. I'm rattling on and I'm not colouring. Let me put these back. Okay, what do we have next? What about this Chalice? I don't really want it to be gold because she's got a gold toga. Check out POTS. Yeah, I tried that. I've checked my sitting to standing heart rate, and it didn't fall within the POTS thing. Oh, thank you for joining, Angela. I hope everyone's not leaving because of all the really maudlin chat. I have to mow grass, but I don't want to leave. That's fine. If you need to go mow the grass, you go mow the grass. You can always catch up later. Thank you, Lisa. I do like these nails, I've got to admit. Right, Chalice. What shall I do? So I don't want gold. I mean, I could do silver. But I think there's too much kind of silvery tones in the dress and in the, what are they called? The pillars. Pewter. Let me think. Let me have a drink. All this talking. Shannon says do a copper chalice, right? And you know, just before I started this live tonight, I was flicking through my special effects book because I've just done the video of it. And you know, Helen has a tutorial for a copper chalice, but I don't know if I can. Here it is. This is what it's meant to look like. Do you think I should try it? The greens, Mo, that I was just using were marine green, moss green and lime peel. That's for the bush in the background. And then for the little leaves in the foreground, I used pale sage and... My memory is terrible. Pale sage and Kelly green. How do you find motivation to colour parts of a page that you're intimidated by or just don't like the process of? Oh, I tend to avoid. I tend to before I choose a page to colour, I look at it. I look at everything on the page, and I think to myself, do I want to start this and end up having to do this, this and this? Because I really don't feel it. Sometimes I'll force myself to do pages that I don't really like, and then afterwards I'm like, I'm so glad that I did that, because I'm actually so pleased with the way that it's turned out, and I never would have coloured it had I not been forced to. And I mean, nobody forces me to do it, but my thing with this channel and all my reviews, even back to the written reviews in 2015, I've always coloured something out of a book that I review. Very, very few times I haven't done that. I just think, you know, that's just the way that I do it. So there have been times when I've had books come in for review, unsolicited books, and I've ended up reviewing them and I've had to colour something for them, and it just turns out that I actually am really pleased with it, even though I wasn't looking forward to it. Someone needs to invent pencils that go on the nails. We'd all have them looking at. Can you imagine that, if you could actually colour with your nails? I'm sure someone's done it. Okay, everyone says have a go at the Chalice. So, oh, knocking the vape over. Let me move that out the way. Okay, let's have a go at this then. So, Helen, what do we have to do? So here's the shape. Can you see? You can see, right? Then we need full coverage with light peach. Now, you know, guys, this could go wrong. I've not tried this before. So, you know, we're trying it for the first time. It could ruin the page, but hey-ho. Yeah, Sass, if you haven't seen my review of that book, I did it this afternoon, and you'll see every single page and you'll love it. You'll love it. Right, so full coverage of light peach. This is what Helen says we have to do. Let me zoom in a little bit more. So I'm going to do it really lightly and we'll build up the layers, purely because I haven't done this technique before and I'm a little bit skeptical about my abilities to follow tutorials. Oh, Hannah's got Helen's book. Fantastic. So completely, well, I don't want to cover this because these are kind of like jewels. So I'll do the stem of the glass. Right, so that's full coverage light peach. Then be sure to include the curves as shown. I've shown the curves. Oh, hang on, the curves show the shape of the glass. Oh, I see, this is where you're doing the mineral orange. So mineral orange. Sharpen it. Amy, this is Colorist Special Effects 5. It's brand new to the Amazon world. So go and grab yourself a copy. It's fantastic. If you've got the other books, you'll know just how great they are. Okay, so mineral orange, apply on the areas shown. Use downward strokes where possible to work with the contour. So I've got to try and create a contour like this. So I'm going to try and do it eye for eye. Very lightly first. And then it kind of sweeps down to about there. And then this kind of tails off, right? Tails off. And then sort of swishes up like that. And a bit like that. Oh dear. Okay, so I'm just going to fill all of that in. I've just kind of made the shape that Helen was talking about. And of course we've got these lines as well that the illustrator has left on the glass. So it might look a bit weird, but hopefully it'll work out. So there's mineral orange. And we also have a bit down here, which is kind of straight actually. And then there's a bit here, which is like an oval, and that comes up with a tail, and it goes down the stem. So obviously we've only got a bit of the stem showing, so that's less things for me to muck up, which is good. Now working in Mythic World by Kirby while listening. Oh, Lauren, what page are you doing? Yes, this is our Helen Elliston. You know what? I should actually tell her that we're on live. If she's about, she'll probably come on. Here she is. Let me just give her a quick message. On live with your book right now. And if she gets it, she'll come and join if she's not busy. Her glass edge is straighter. Yeah, that's a point. Yeah, that is a point. Off topic completely. The ones that have colour cubes, do you find them useful? I do. And they're really pretty, just to have on the desk. Mo's doing a page in Circle of Life with a buddy colour with Sammy. Oh, fantastic. I was looking at those books last night. Yeah. Have you not got any of them, Amy? Because they're all like, because they're all different. They're all worth having. Do you know what I mean? There's different tutorials in each one, so none of them are like better than others. Okay, so that's my mineral orange light layer done. Number 5, burnish the colours individually to avoid each colour spreading. Use a white pencil to burnish to create a smooth, even base. The orange will lighten slightly, but then reapply the colours again to achieve a better richness on a smoother base. So a white pencil, and I've got to burnish this a bit. So I'm not going to do it really heavily. We'll just do a bit of a layer on there. I guess this is just, like Helen said, to keep it smooth. But I think I can get it smooth. That's not my worry. Okay, next. Moving on to the next page. So let me swap these around a sec, if I can. Here we go. Okay. So she did say add the same colours again, didn't she? So let me grab the light peach and the mineral orange. And let's just add those back in with a slightly harder layer, but I'm still not fully pressuring the what do you call it? The pencil. So there's the peach. Did we have to do any? Oh yeah, so we've got the mineral orange all across the back of the chalice as well. And then we'll redo this mineral orange. I said we were going to finish this page tonight, but you know, now I've started doing this, I'm thinking, nope. Oh my gosh, Jenny, 100%. This one took over a year for her to make this book. And like, she's so lovely as well. You know, sometimes you just want to support people because they're so lovely. She's one of them. I think the colour companions are the most useful bit, so you can match colour scheme to your own pencils. Yeah, that's a very good point, Lisa. The colour companions are very useful. All right, so that was my second layer. Let's see what she says next. Percentage of dark versus light changes because the shape or form is altered at the most bulbous part of the glass where the glass curves down. So that's just a little bit of interesting info about how there's more light at the bottom and more dark at the top. So number 6 is 70% French grey. Keeping on the warmer side of grey colours, this colour is perfect for the next stage of darkness. Apply gently and build up. Do try to make the colour as smooth as possible. Downward strokes worked best for me. Okay, 70% warm grey. Here we go. So I've got that, and what do I need to do? Okay, so I just need to put some shadows in quite lightly, don't I? So let me just thicken that bit up there with the orange. And I'll put some grey along there. I wish these lines weren't on the cup, it's putting me off. So we've got grey there and a bit of grey here. Concentrating now. See, this isn't as big either, so I have to think about proportions of where I'm putting my shadows. And this kind of looks like a H. Do you know how much hate I get on my diamond painting video? It's actually my most viewed video, even though this is a colouring channel. My diamond painting video's got something ridiculous, like 2 million views. And the biggest comment that I get on it is people criticising the way that I say H, because I say it with a H. And it's purely local dialect, like that's how we say it around here. But you're meant to say it H, you're not meant to add the H. It's very unbecoming, apparently. This is quite funny, the amount of comments I get about that. I wish I'd picked a different letter to demonstrate. I don't know if I'm doing this right. And then, oh, this is unusual. So this is like a T. And just some curves around there. Well, it's looking like a hot mess at the minute. Trust the process, guys. I'm trying to convince myself as much as you. Just doing the chart for the Pablos, you put the colour families awesome together. Love it. Oh, thank you. That's great. And then down the stem as well. So just a bit of grey down the stem. Number 7, black pencil. Oh my goodness. Apply as shown. The areas are specific. This is how the light was reflecting when I photographed the wine glass, but it works. The black pencil is the softer black, so we'll apply black pen next. Wow, okay. So I need a black Prisma. Normally have one. Okay, right. So bit of black up there. I don't know if I've done enough grey. Just add a bit of grey there. Downward strokes, she says, right? Downward strokes. Yeah, because my glass is not as big as that one, I'm kind of struggling to get the proportions right of where to put all the shadows. So I'm just going to try my very best. So that goes up there. It's quite a bit thicker than that. And then, gosh, there's lots of different little lines in this bit and I haven't got a lot of room. I'm just sort of winging it now. Okay, and then down the centre again. I do think I'm just going to come back in with some grey and smooth these out a little bit. I also need a bit of black on the back edge as well. Oh, thank you. Oh, right, okay. So it's looking better on camera. That's great. Maybe, you know, it's hard when you're colouring something, especially when you're really concentrating on very small areas, because you really need to step back and have a look and see if you've done it, you know, how you're doing with it. Because when you sort of close up to it like this, it doesn't look great. Have I frozen for people? Because mine's frozen. Right, maybe if I come off it again. Let me just come off the app and try again. Okay, I'm back. You can see the bigger picture on the telly. Oh my goodness. Right, what's next? So I've done the black. Black marker pen gives a much darker and solid finish than a black pencil. We want crisp, sharp lines and maximum contrast. The black pen shouldn't overlay the black pencil. The black pencil gives the black zones a bit of softness. Right, I think before I do that, I'm going to bring my oranges back in, you know, the original colours, because I didn't burnish them fully, did I? And I think that will help. So I'm just going to bring these oranges back to a bit more vibrancy. And I'll leave the peach for a bit because I think we've got to add some yellow in there later. So what did she say? Black pen. I've got a little black Posca here. Oh, actually, there's the other one gone. Disappeared. There it is. Okay, so black pen, not overlaying the black pencil entirely. The black pencil gives black zones. Right. So I'm using some black Posca, but we're not going to overlay the grey and the black completely. It's quite scary actually adding paint pen onto this. So they've got to be solid, but they've got to be crisp and clear as well. And they can't overlay the grey. And then down here, and the stem as well, don't want to forget that. Okay. Hopefully that's all right. It looks kind of weird, but anyways, I think there's some orange that I've missed out on this. This has got a bit of a tail on it here. So let's just bring that out a little bit. And there's a couple of little orange lines down here as well. Okay, so the next step is canary yellow. Add a subtle tinge to the base, which gives a nice glow. So let me get the yellow. Subtle tinge to the base, so just around the bottom here. Yeah, here she says she's added some extra orange details. So I think she's also put a little bit of yellow here as well. I'm just going to do a spot of that there just to see if that will help. And then she goes on to do white highlights. So now I want to add in the orange and the peach properly once again. Probably just double up on the colours one more time, because I think Helen has probably burnished them far more by now, whereas I was being a little bit reluctant with it. And the light peach, so I'm really pressing hard on this now to get it to be really nice and smooth with the orange. Just being careful not to grab any of that pen ink while I'm doing this. Okay, and then the grey was next, so I just want to build that back up as well, just to soften it a bit. I'm still keeping the harsh shapes, but I'm trying to soften the edges slightly. Bit more yellow there. And then this has an orange side all the way up, so I'll put that in. Sorry I'm ignoring chat. Can't wait for Bridgerton Part 2. Me neither, Lisa. I'm not as excited as I was when it was Anthony's season, but yeah, I'm excited to watch it. Are Helen's colour references Prisma? Yep, they're all Prisma in all of Helen's books. So just making sure the orange is nice and vibrant and it's smoothed out with the grey as much as possible. And then the last step is to do the white Posca bits, which is like my favourite bit of any project. White Posca pen, strong, solid, confident white highlights give the contrast needed to make this copper wine glass shine. Fab. So, white Posca. Let's see where Helen's put the highlights then. So we've got a bit here. And there's a little bit there. I'm trying to copy them perfectly. And then next to that one, there's a little bit there. I've not done that black low enough. Because there's a little bit like that. And then it looks like pretty much all of this area is white. I'll show you in a sec. I know you can't, or can you see what I'm doing over here? Let me overlap it, that might help. So what did I say? So pretty much all of this area is white. Right up to the top of the glass. And a little baby one there. And then one like that. And there's a couple of spots just on this T bit at the bottom, which I haven't used the grey to round off, so let me just do that. A couple of spots here. One coming up. Obviously this is a really small glass, so I'm just doing my best to copy what Helen's done. And then on the stem, looks like there's a bit more peach on the stem, so let me just almost rub out the orange with the peach. Get a little bit more grey around that black. And then we've got a highlight straight up the side. I think that's it. It looks weird to me. What does it look like to you? What does it look like on screen? Maybe it's just because I'm so close to it. Hello, Lisa from New Zealand. Welcome. Cup looks amazing. Thank you so much. Looks fantastic, really compliments the page. Hi Helen, Helen's here everybody. We've just finished trying to do your shiny copper wine glass. How do you think I've done? What do I need to do differently? Helen, you can give me all the tips. I think I need to add a little bit more orange just here. Because the glass that I'm working on, Helen, is far smaller than the one you did. So I've been trying to mess about with it. There may be a touch of highlight on the rim. Oh, yes. Oh, of course, you're right. Well spotted. I think I need to colour the liquid actually. So let me get like a winey colour. Let's go for... Actually, would she have grape wine? Should we bring the Dahlia purple back in so that all ties together? Does it stand out from her dress though? Because it's quite similar to the dress. Helen said it's a glass that's in my cupboard. I got the copper one and a silver one. All right, so you've taken your reference from your glass then. Let me get something a bit darker as well. We've got the black cherry. Just to do some edges. Do I need to put any of those back in now? It does go well together, it does stand out from the dress, fantastic. We've all just been praising your book, Helen, all of your books. Very, very well deserved. So much work put into your books, it's incredible. But what do you reckon, Helen? Have I done it justice? Do I need to change anything? I know I've got to finish, you know, what I'm doing here as well with the rest of the goblet or whatever it is. Just add a bit more grey here. Oh, fantastic. So long as it's orangey, then it stands out from the gold yellow dress. Okay, so we do have some touches of yellow. That's actually quite good because it's almost like the light is reflecting from the dress. There's a few more little black speckles as well down the side that I've missed. And then there's a little bit there. Just a little curve of black and a little dot. I'm trying to do it almost exactly how you've done it, Helen. Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, so what shall I do on here then? I'm thinking something red. Something red. Let me just add a slight bit more black to that. You know, I'm just going to mess about with it now till the world ends. So we've got red. Let's grab the crimson red. I think I've got to do some more copper on there first, like around this, otherwise it's going to look weird. So I'm just going to guess really where I'm putting things. I don't know if I'm doing this right, but hopefully it will all merge together. A little bit of black. And then we'll use the red for these little crystal things. And we'll have a little bit of a shine mark on there. And then for this, what shall I do for this bit? Oh, you've just ordered the 5th book. Fantastic, Kathleen. Oh, thank you for everybody's comments on the glass. I'm glad that it looks good. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean about weeds, Helen. We've got the same problem here. It's a never-ending battle, isn't it? You know, I'm feeling a bit of white highlight here. I can go on forever with white highlights, you know me. And then for that bit, what shall I do for that bit? Let me remove this book so that I can get you properly zoomed in again and you can see what it looks like a bit closer, which might not be a good thing. Let's use this same red to colour in these diamonds. You see, I can spend an eternity agonising over the smallest details. Sometimes I think, Claire, just bloody start colouring, will you? Stop thinking so much. Yeah, there you go, Dee. You see, we're on the same wavelength. Maybe I should just do a bit of this orange around the border. With just a couple of black bits here and there just to hopefully tie it all in. Thank you so much. What's red be nice? Oh, red would be nice, sorry. I'm an idiot. Right, then just behind it, maybe I'll just add in some black shadow or something. Put a little bit of orange next to that black shadow. And then we'll do a few little white bits on the diamonds. I'm not messing about with it anymore. Posh glass, I dare not drink from it in case I broke it. Oh dear. So what do we reckon then? Is that the cup done? Does it look finished? Does it look... Shall we move on? We've got the jug to do. Would this be like olive oil, do you think, in this jug? Could be. Let me put these colours away and then we can figure it out. Because like olive oil, we'd be looking at sort of these kind of yellow ochre sand colours. Yeah, wine made from the grapes, that's it, Lisa. Put these to one side as well. So olive oil, yeah, I'm thinking this, and maybe a little tinge of like a greenish yellow as well. What do we have in Prismas? You know what I mean? Like green gold kind of colour that you would get in polychromos. Maybe a little bit of this brown umber would help to achieve that. So olive oil. I'm going to start with the yellow ochre. And just do a few shady bits. Again, all random. Then with the sand, we can just kind of fill that in. And then we can properly shade in the yellow ochre. So I was doing it really lightly then, but now that we've sort of mapped out the colours, I can make it a bit darker. And then the same just around there. My belly will be bulging over it. Mine would as well, Helen. But I don't care. I'm past caring. I just want to feel good. I want to be able to live happily. I don't care what I look like anymore. Given up. Right. So that's a bit of olive oil. Now I want to add a little bit of this brown. I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm wanting it to be a bit greenish. Maybe I should have used like a bit of lime peel or something. Or like sandbar brown, maybe. Just done a very slight bit of this brown. It's not anything you can probably really tell I've done. But let me just grab... What have I got here? Green ochre. Bit of green ochre. See what that does. Very, very lightly. Because I think this might be slightly too orangey for olive oil. I think I need to put some yellow over it as well. Let's just grab this canary yellow. And just lighten it up a little bit. Because you know, it's getting kind of like the dress, right? But I also want there to be some definite green tones in there. I don't know why, I just feel like it needs it. White pencil. I'm just going to try and erase a little bit of the vibrancy going on here. Now let me get a really light blue. Let's say, let me just get my colour charts. Okay, let's say cloud blue, I think. Helen has an olive oil tutorial in one of her books. Oh, she probably does, Lisa. I'm sure she does. I can't remember. My memory's shocking. But yeah, we could have followed that, couldn't we? But anyway, I've got this cloud blue and I'm just going to make some shading on the glass, on the olive oil glass. There probably would be a lot harsher shading on this glass as well to match the goblet, but let's see what next. Maybe a little bit of Blue Violet Lake. Just a little bit to get some form in the shadow as well. Oh, look at me talking about form. Don't know what I'm talking about. And then White Posca to the rescue. Okay. That'll do. Love dipping French stick bread in olive balsamic. I've never done that. I've never tried that, but I don't like olives, so maybe it's totally different. Maybe it's a better taste. I don't know. So that's that. Now we need the little cork, don't we? So let me use this brown umber that I've got out already. And then a bit of sepia on the edge. Maybe some ginger root to fill the rest in. Every time that white Posca comes out, I stop breathing. I use it far too much. that goblet didn't take very long, did it? I thought it would take me a lot longer than that to finish it, you know, with it being so, with it looking in the book so difficult. But that just is testament to how Helen really writes her instructions very clearly, gives you those step-by-step pictures so you know what it is that you're aiming for. It shows you how quickly and how well it can be done, I suppose. Right, there's the cork. Now we've got a little label on this bottle. I don't want to forget about it. So what about the green ochre that we've already got out? What's darker than green ochre? Bit of espresso. That looks all right. I'm not going to fuss over too small details. Is the circle item next to the jug bread or fruit? This, I keep thinking, I think it's bread, because I was looking at that before the live as well. And I think it's something, where is it? Something like this. There was another one. Yeah, kind of like this. So it's going to have some flour on top of it as well. I'm going to try and attempt that. So I've got some burnt ochre. I'm going to give this a go. So if I do some of these squares with the burnt ochre, but not all of them and not in the same places, we might get a bit more of a natural bronzed look, hopefully. This is just proper winging it now. Probably do some light shading around the bottom as well. Coming up to the top. I don't want it to look shiny, but I do want to try and put some shading in there. And then a bit of goldenrod, I think. Cross top bread, yeah, you got it. Got some mint aero balls for snack later. Oh, lovely. Bottle with the fish is what's worrying me. Cod liver oil, tuna juice. Yeah, what could that be? What's that fish cooking sauce that you get in a lot of Chinese meals? I can't remember what it's called. Maybe it's something to do with that. Oyster. No, wait, that's seafood. It's different. I don't know. Anyway, goldenrod. Anchovies. I've never had an anchovy. Have you ever had anchovy, Jack?
don't forget.
It's some kind of fish, isn't it? I've got a very limited palate. I'm not a fish person at all. I like tuna, I like mackerel that comes in a tin with tomato sauce. That's about it. World's smallest fish tank. In Pompeii, they made a fish sauce that was a delicacy. Okay, so maybe it's that then. I don't know what we're going to colour it. We'll figure it out. Yeah, so I want to like do some powder or the look of white flour on this, if I can. So I want something just a bit darker. Let's see. What about this one? Dark brown. Sardines, yeah, could be sardines. So with the dark brown, I'm just going to deepen up where I put the burnt ochre a little bit, just for a bit more contrast. It's kind of daunting having Helen watching because I know she would do this absolutely incredibly, but I think this is the most realistic thing on the page. Maybe it sticks out too much for that reason. I think I did a bit down there, didn't I? A little bit more up there. Mint Aero balls. You don't know what they are. You're in America, right? Do you have Aero bars over there? I bet you don't because they're Nestle, aren't they? I don't think Nestle is a brand you have in America, but I could be wrong. But Aero is basically a bubbly chocolate. So you snap it and you can see all the little air bubbles in it. And so it's really light. And then the mint one is just obviously mint flavoured. But they do come in little balls as well. So instead of having the chocolate bar shape, you would have them in little snack balls. Might be garum, a stinky rotting fish used as a popular condiment in ancient Greece. Oh, lovely. Well, what did the bottles look like, Sass? How do I make it look like stinky rotten fish sauce? So I want a bit of grey. I think I'm going to go for a French grey. Let's have a look at French grey, 20%. That might be too much. Let's try the 10%. Hi, Brittany. Sounds like malted milk. We have malted milk biscuits, but they're not like that. They're not like an Aero. If you Google Aero, you'll see. And that might give you like a bit of a look into what it is. And maybe you've got something similar over there. So I'm just using this 10% French to soften it a little bit. And I want to have the look of it having a bit of powder on it as well. Maybe I'll need the trusty Posca for that. Oh, you have it in Canada. That's good. Could change the lady so she's holding her nose because the bad smell. Yeah, can you just put a peg on it. Just draw a peg on her nose. Okay. A little bit of goldenrod because I don't want it to look like this is a highlight, you know. bit more dark brown. I'm just trying to make it look a bit textured now. Let me try this little teeny tiny white pen, because I just want some little speckles of flower. I don't want it to be too thick. It's kind of whiskey coloured in a tall, thin and porous that it was kept in. Bread looks great. Definitely looks like dips and raised crisscross. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh. High praise. So this isn't as vibrant of a white, and it's very thin as well. So that's great for like little bits like that you want to make look like sugar or powder or whatever it is, because it's not as in your face as the big white Posca. I actually do want to come back around the top a little bit. That's with the burnt ochre. Bit of the dark brown, but not too much. And then just a bit of goldenrod. And that 10% French will just blur it out slightly, but it still keeps a nice warmth and that little bit of a brown tinge with the French grey. Which colours did you use for the pillars? Oh my goodness, you're asking me. I think it was Mediterranean blue. Let me look at my chart. I'm rubbish at remembering stuff like this. Mediterranean blue. Where's that? There it is. And then what else did I use? Blue slate, maybe? I think Mediterranean blue, blue slate, and possibly a bit of powder blue. And then the greys, it was the warm greys, so just varying greys on the warm grey bit. But, you know, you can go back and watch that if you want to see exactly what it is, because my memory's crap. Helen says, try and soften a bit of top black outline with a stroke of white pen. Okay. Okay, let's try it with this one, because it's not as opaque and I don't want it to mess up. Bit of Posca. I thought that were you pouring telly on. Dogs just put telly on. I'll tell you something, whenever she comes on the settee, she'll find that remote with her paws and she'll change the channel or she'll do something. She just knows. I'm just using a bit of this Posca, but I'm brushing it away before I let it dry. get some more of the dark brown. I'm just doing little bits here and there now. I'm just farting about with it. But yeah, that's all right. I think I'm done with that. Hi, Pickle. I think the pillars was the week before last, the birthday episode, when Mum was mistaken for the Amazon driver. Yeah, that was the one. Yeah, she's fine. She's fine. Sherry says, thanks for the Pablo's chart. Oh, yeah, I'm so glad that you like it. It did take a while to sort of work out what I was doing with them Pablos, but I got there in the end. I've just realised I've missed a bit of cloud there. Let me just grab, I don't know. Let's grab this. What is it? Sunburst yellow. Just going to colour that in there. Right then. So what we've got left then, we've got these corn stalks or wheat stalks, whatever they are. We've got the stinky fish, we've got this vase, and we've got these two things. And we've also got this little medallion that I can't forget. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll leave it there for tonight. And then when we come back next week, we can spend 10 minutes, 15 minutes finishing that off. And we can decide what we're doing next. What would you like to see next so I can get it prepared, ready for next Tuesday? So pick a book, pick a page, pick an artist, and I'll try and make it happen. So just let me know in the comments what you think you want us to do next. Let's zoom out a bit. Looking very bready, fab. Dog on telly rumble going nuts. Oh no. Well, thank you for dropping in, Sherry. So we've got Maria Troll. I'm sure we said Maria Troll before, didn't we? Kirby, RJ Hampson, Maria Troll, Grayscale, my goodness. Thank you for watching, Emily. Thank you so much, Helen. That's high praise. So shall we do Maria Troll then? Because we have done a Kirby. I know you love your Kirby pickle, but we have done a Kirby. Have we done a Carlson? Yeah, we did a Carlson, didn't we? With the Galaxy White Lines one. So I guess the only one we haven't done is the Maria Troll. So let's do that then. I'll pick some sort of page from Maria. I'll show you next week what I've chosen. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me again for another couple of hours. I'm sorry if the chat was a bit depressing here and there, but anyways, thank you for joining me, keeping me distracted, keeping me busy for a couple of hours, and I will see you next week to finish this off. Yeah, hope you have a great week. Take care, and I'll see you soon.